Good afternoon. In this session, we are going to discuss about buttermilk. Buttermilk, as everyone knows, it is prepared from curd. So, is there any difference, or how are we actually supposed to prepare it? According to Ayurveda, we talk about 5 types of how buttermilk can be prepared. Generally, buttermilk is considered to be highly beneficial and it is supposed to be taken daily, preferably at the end of the meal. According to Ayurveda, a meal is generally to be started with a sweet taste, followed by the sour, salty, bitter, pungent, and astringent. That is, the last part should be astringent. And this astringent taste, we get it from the buttermilk, and that is why it is advised to be at the end of the meal. So, according to Ayurveda, generally, this buttermilk has a sweet, sour, and an astringent taste dominating it. And the benefits of buttermilk is just mentioned in one line according to Ayurveda as Yata Suranam Amritam Sukhaya Tata Naranam Bhuvi Takramahu. That is, just like the divine nectar is to the god, the Amritam is to the god, similarly, buttermilk or takra is to the humans. So, how do we prepare such a wonderful nectar? As a question over here. So in Ayurveda we talk about 5 types of buttermilk based on its preparation, and the properties slightly vary in each variety. The first one, as we call, is the gola. The gola is the curd which is churned along with the cream, and you're not going to add any extra water to it. This gola is extremely beneficial in pacifying the vata and pitta dosha, and it is slightly difficult to digest. And next, talking about matita. Matita is the curd which is churned without the cream. At the same time, no water is also added. That is, you churn it, remove the butter, and then you're not going to add any extra water also. This is matita. This pacifies kapha and pitta dosha. The third variety is the takra. So, takra, that is which is the curd which is churned without the cream, and you are adding 1/4 part of water. That is, for example, if you are taking 4 glasses of curd, you're supposed to add only 1 glass of water to it, and then you're churning it, and make sure that you remove the cream beforehand. So this takra is what we are talking about to be the elixir, the divine nectar. All this is supposed to be this takra. This one is also an appetizer. By appetizer we mean it increases the digestion power, it pacifies the tridoshas according to Ayurveda. Also it is light to digest. This is generally useful in disorders of the GI tract, especially in ulcerative colitis, malabsorption syndrome, or the common term as we call in Ayurveda is the Grahani dosha. In such condition, this takra is highly beneficial. It is also useful in case of piles or the hemorrhoids, as we say, in which a small mass might be coming out of your anus when you pass motion. So even in such conditions, this is highly useful. The fourth variety is the Udashvita. Udashvita is nothing but the curd which is churned without the cream. At the same time, you are going to add 1/2 part of water to it. This strengthens the body and it reduces armor, that is any kind of indigestion material which is going to be present in your body. This is reduced by the use of Udashvita. Next one, the fifth and last variety is the Chachika, in which you take a bowl of curd, the whole butter is removed when you churn it, and then you add plenty of water to it. This chachika is highly cooling in nature. This is light to digest. It pacifies the pitta dosha over here especially, and generally useful in case of tiredness, fatigue and thirst. So generally after a heavy work, we do, especially in summer, you can have this chachika once you are home. It will also pacify the fatigue of the sun, and it is also useful for the thirst which one experiences. So, should the buttermilk be sour or sweet or astringent when we take it? Might be a few questions. So, according to the condition of the body, this buttermilk can be slightly modified and a few ingredients can be added and taken according to one's own body's condition. So it is one of the food, as we have already mentioned, to be taken at the end of the meal. Also, but how are we supposed to take this buttermilk? That is something which we have discussed, but with what? That becomes a question over here. If you experience any kind of distension of abdomen for a longer periods of time, and when you have a lot of vata aggravation, in such condition, this buttermilk can be slightly sour in taste, and you can add a little bit of dry ginger and salt to it, and it can be used. If you have a mode of pitta aggravation, like as we say, a lot of burning sensation in the body, or maybe diarrhea also, in such conditions, this buttermilk can be taken with a sweetened one. You can have it in the form of lassi, as we say, or like with sugar is to be added to it, in other words. Next one, in the kapha aggravation, that is when you have any kind of loss of appetite or distaste. In such condition, this buttermilk can be taken with rikatu. Rikatu is nothing but the chukku, melagu and tippali. Along with that, the buttermilk can be taken. And a small preparation over here is in case of grahani, that is any kind of malabsorption or ulcerative colitis. In such conditions, this buttermilk can be prepared from turmeric and that is in a small vessel. You're going to add a little bit of curry leaves, turmeric, pomegranate peel, salt and water, and you're going to boil it. So instead of the normal water, you're going to use this water to prepare the buttermilk. This is highly useful in grahani disorders. And also, one of the common frequently asked questions when it comes to buttermilk is, on taking buttermilk, I get cold. Should I still use it knowing all these benefits? So when buttermilk actually has a tendency to cause cold in some people, in such condition what you can do is, you can have it after tempering the buttermilk. Maybe with a little bit of jeera, turmeric and salt, you can slightly, in a little bit of oil, you can fry it. And this can be added to the buttermilk. This stops the tendency to create any kind of cold. And hence buttermilk is useful for everyone during all days. Thank you.